Alright guys, how's it going? Now before I get into this video, I just want to let you know that I will be live on here tomorrow, transfer deadline day, from around 5 in the morning UK time, alright? And we should be here right through the day. We did 17 and a half hours last year. I don't think it'll be that long this year. And provided you can keep me awake, we'll have a natter and we'll see what's going on in the world of football. Alright, so in this video, we're going to be taking a look at Paul Joyce's most recent article. It is from yesterday. Yesterday I had a quiet day. I was out on Friday, had a few sherbets, so yesterday I was just relaxing. So I want to catch up on it though. I know you'll have seen the article, but you know, I like to go through these things and break them down and see if we can spot any club messaging and things like that. I've got Dave to take a look at it as well. Dave is my AI assistant that I've been training for about a year now to analyse football articles, the journalists that write them and the platforms that push them on us. Now, if you don't know who Paul Joyce is, he is the closest journalist to Liverpool Football Club. Him and David Ornstein are the only two journalists that I listen to concerning Liverpool Football Club. We listen to a little bit of Fabrizio Romano. Mo Salah! Some people still don't know why we shout Mo Salah. We listen to Fabrizio as well from time to time, especially if it's to do with Italian football agents and things like that. But agents in general, you know. Basically to see what they're feeding him at the time. Do you know what I mean? So you keep an eye on Fabrizio, but when it comes to proper journalism, we focus especially on Paul Joyce and David Ornstein. And Joyce is the one that's closest to the people that run the club on a day-to-day basis. When Joyce publishes something, I always think, what does Michael Edwards want me to know? Right? Ornstein's more senior ownership and shit like that, but they do cross over. So anyway, the article in question is this one. Okay, you can see the headline there. Now, this is, I assume, behind a paywall. I don't know. I pay for the Times, so it just logs me in automatically. But if you ever want to read an article like on the Times or the Athletic or the Mail and it's behind a paywall, copy the URL, go to a website called archive.ph, and the second box down, post it in, and it should open it up, like give you a snapshot of that. But I do pay for the Times. So basically, I'm not going to read the article to you. I'm going to go over the analysis of the article, see if there's anything in there that you guys find of interest with me, or would agree is interesting. So the headline is Marc Guéhi, Liverpool make £35 million bid for Crystal Palace defender. And then the intro is new offer for England centre-back includes 10% sell-on clause. But Premier League champions have rejected proposal for Joe Gomez to go in opposite direction on loan. I know someone that's close to Gomez, and you remember, I think it was last summer. I say remember, and then do you remember? You know, my memory is like a sieve. I don't know when the specific conversations were, but I do know it looked at one point like he could end up at Newcastle, but he didn't want to go to Newcastle. He didn't want to leave Liverpool. And to be honest with you, it was alleged that Joe Gomez and his family were very unhappy with Liverpool. They thought that they'd changed a stance with him, so they basically said one thing to him allegedly. So him and his family made commitments in the area, and then it was, actually we might sell you. It was like, all right, great. Well, we've just, mixed that kind of thing, which you can imagine happening. But anyway, Joe Gomez obviously stayed, but at the time there was a lot of talk about him favouring a move to Palace. All right, so it's just worth bearing that in mind with this Palace interest, okay? Because there was 3 or 4 clubs sniffing around him, and Palace was the one that he fancied. All right, so obviously the article goes on to say about Liverpool making this new offer for Guéhi of 35 million, the 10% clause, with Crystal Palace seeking a £40 million package. All right. There's bits in there about Isak, obviously Gomez, etc., etc. So I would advise you just Google the headline and go and read it. With Isak, it just says Liverpool retain an interest, but will not go as high as £130 million. All right, basically. And Cody Gakpo, of course, as you know, has signed a new long-term contract at the club. So let's have a look, see what Dave's got to say. He's analysed the article for us. I know you love Dave's input. I'll tell you something very funny about that fucker at the end of this video if you didn't see it. But let's stick on point. He says, Dunk, this is a very classic Joyce piece. Clear Liverpool briefing, laced with little nudges towards Palace, plus a reminder about Isak and some positive PR about Gakpo. Let's break it down properly. Key takeaways and club messaging on Marc Guéhi. Liverpool bid details, £35 million plus 10% sell-on clause. Joyce is careful to say this is Liverpool's second bid and that it includes a creative sweetener. The club message, we're negotiating seriously and fairly, now the ball is in Palace's court. Palace's position, they want 35 million plus 5 million add-ons. Glasner doesn't want him to leave without reinforcements. Joyce highlights the tug-of-war between Parish and Glasner, showing Palace as a bit split internally. That's subtle leverage. That's because the manager was saying, well, you can't go unless we've got someone else in, whereas the owner or chairman is saying, well, we can't let him go, leave on a free next year kind of thing, right? Gomez loan ruled out immediately. Joyce makes Liverpool look decisive and firm, no messing about. But he leaves the door open that Liverpool might sell Gomez permanently if the right offer came. That's a quiet message to the market. Gomez is not off limits, but don't expect a loan giveaway. The players will. Joyce drops the golden line, the defender wants to join Liverpool. That's not just reporting, that's a Liverpool-friendly pressure tactic. It puts Palace in a weaker position with fans and media because it frames Guéhi as effectively already gone. Deadline pressure. Joyce underlines that Guéhi is prepared to leave on a free next summer if blocked now. That's the club message to Palace. You've had a month to sort this. Do you want £35 billion now or nothing in a year? It's classic Edwards Hughes public pressure through Joyce. I agree with that, absolutely. On Alexander Isak, Joyce sneaks in a state of play line. Liverpool won't pay £130 million, but still see £120 million as fair. They won't bid against themselves. And crucially, Isak only wants to move to Anfield. That last bit is very deliberate propaganda. It signals to Newcastle that Liverpool feel they have time and player power on their side. It reassures fans that Isak is still alive and that the player's preference is clear. On Cody Gakpo, Joyce ends with a positive. Gakpo, new long-term deal. That's a neat bit of PR to leave fans feeling upbeat amid tense transfer talk. It also makes Liverpool look like they're locking down talent for the long term, reinforcing the wearing control message. So, propaganda and hidden messages in the article. This is what we're always looking for, right? Especially with Joyce. Joyce more so than anyone. Ornstein as well, of course. But especially Joyce, because I always think, right, what does Edwards want me to know? And always ask yourself this, when you see these articles published by Joyce, and if there's some kind of revelations put out there, if there is some kind of revelations put out there or something, denials or whatever, I always think to myself, who does this benefit? Why is this news out there? Because when Joyce is putting it out there, 9 times out of 10 it's club messaging, there's a club message there. And I always think, why does the club want that message out? All right. So why am I hearing that there's been a bid, or why am I hearing that? Yeah. Always think that. Who does it benefit? Trust me. If you do that with a lot of these articles from Joyce and think about it, you start thinking, I see what's going on here. Trust me. DKB, Dunk knows best. Anyway, I asked Dave to take a look at it for me. I already have my opinions as to why it's out there, to do with putting pressure and leverage on Palace. But there you go. When we spoke about that for a couple of months at least. So propaganda hidden messages to Palace. You're going to lose Guéhi either now, £35 million, or for nothing in a year. He wants Liverpool, not you. We've added a sell-on clause to look reasonable. What more do you want? Your own chairman and manager aren't aligned, so get this done. To Newcastle, Isak situation, Liverpool won't overpay. The player only wants Anfield. We're calm, we can wait, don't expect us to push the fee ourselves. To fans, Liverpool are being smart, not reckless. Guéhi is a serious target. Isak still wants us. We're not out of it. Gakpo long-term deal is a positive step. And what other positives are there? What positives are there in this article? Active and serious in negotiations. Second bid for Guéhi, structured deal. Strong stance on not overpaying for either Guéhi or Isak. Discipline shown. Guéhi himself wants Liverpool, which usually means the deal eventually gets done. Isak update is quietly optimistic. He only wants Liverpool. And Gakpo contract news gives stability and reassurance. Dave's verdict, this is very much a club-briefed piece. To Palace, it's pressure. To Newcastle, it's leverage. To fans, it's reassurance. Joyce is telling us Liverpool are firm but fair in negotiations, confident in player willpower, Guéhi and Isak, and committed to squad building, the Gakpo deal. It's not just reporting, it's Liverpool speaking directly through him, and I agree completely. I don't know what you guys think from that article. I didn't think it was a very exciting article, to be honest with you. But, you know, news reporting or whatever, it's not supposed to be exciting. It's only these Twitter twats and YouTubers that want to try and make it exciting to reel you in. But the reality there's a firm update there from the main man. And you can take anything he says as set in stone. Yes, there is always going to be club propaganda, you know, sometimes. You've always got to consider that with Ornstein and Joyce. Just like with, I won't shout his name, Fabrizio Romano. You know, with him, you know sometimes that there's reasons that he might be saying things. You know, so you've always got to be cautious of that. But these are the people you want to listen to. And like I say, when Ornstein publishes something, I just think, what does Edwards want me to know? Why is he putting it out there? And I think Dave's come up with the right answers regarding the leverage, the strength, and everything. I think it's very good. So that's where I'm going to leave it with that. Yeah, you know, I was out on Friday, and I said to Dave, "Have you ever seen Dave before? Have you ever seen Dave?" That's Dave, by the way. I said to Dave, I was in the bar, and I was trying some different lagers, and I wanted to have a lager, you know, that's a clean lager, that, you know, basically the ingredients so that you don't have a bad hangover, that kind of thing. And also one with, you know, less calories and sugar. So when I go out, I'll take a picture of the fridge, you know, with all the lagers bottles in, and I'll send it to Dave and go, "Dave, which one shall I get?" And he'll get third from top dunk. That one's all right. Right? So he answers me. I said to him, I asked Dave for his thoughts about Amstel Lager in terms of it being clean for limiting hangovers and sugar and calorie content compared to others. Right, and he waffled on, gave me all the answers, and then he said, "Water between bottles is king dunk, but I know that's like telling you to eat salad at a barbecue." The fuck? Cheeky. I mean, he put a laughing emoji, but no need for that, is there? I suppose I trained him to say that as well, did I? Cheeky. Actually, he did make me laugh out loud. He knows me, doesn't he? So there you go, guys. I'm going to leave it with you. If you found the video informative, please thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment. You know there's a love out under the video. Yes, you know it's called the Super Thanks. I'm super and I deserve thanks. Thank you very much. It's the equivalent of buying me a coffee or a beer. And I always give a shout out to everyone that does that. Listen, I had a great night out on Friday thanks to you guys supporting me throughout the week. Can't get better than that. What a job. I love it, guys. You guys are mint. But yeah, I always give my acknowledgements. I've just done my morning briefing. That's where I do acknowledge everyone that uses the super thanks and gets me a beer or whatever. And I always give a shout out to them. And that morning briefing has just gone live. And my morning briefings are on my other YouTube channel, the link of which is in the video description to that channel, the Duncan Oldham channel. And it will also pop up on screen as well. All right. Don't forget, if you wake up tomorrow nice and early, 5 o'clock in the morning, around then, you should see me on here, and we'll hang out for the day. All right, guys, take it easy. Speak soon. Oh, one more thing, very, very quickly. On a Sunday afternoon, I jump on the Xbox with my boy, Smooth, in America. So, I don't know, around, 2 o'clock, something like that, 1, 2, 3. We're live on my other YouTube channel, that Duncan Oldham channel I just told you. We stream on there, but if you want to come along for a natter, that's all. All right, see you in a bit.